The Alaska State basketball tournaments bring people from all over the state to cheer on their teams.
For one team and community, they came together for something more important than any trophy.
For the 1A and 2A schools across the state, basketball is a family affair.
So did you show your grandsons how it's done?
Oh yeah, I show them all the moves. No,
I believe it. I believe you.
I'm kidding.
It seems like it's a chance to see friends, family, and be able to come out and support.
It's often a long trip to Anchorage.
We travel to Europe, but we pay to get out here.
But if you make it to the state tournaments, like the Sandpoint girls basketball team, you won't be there alone.
This is what we do. We show up and we support, and yeah, we come from, there's less than 100 kids in high school.
For the Aleutian Island community of Sandpoint, a recent tragedy claimed the life of one of those students. 15-year-old Kaipo Kamananga drowned in a canoeing accident 2 weeks ago.
It's been a tough couple, weeks out there, so I'm really glad that we got to come here and celebrate these kids. Kaipo would have loved this, and he's got a lot of fans and a lot of people that love and miss him.
This arena gets very loud, and there's a lot going on when we've got this many teams here at the tournament. But when the Sandpoint girls were playing, you could hear their community behind them cheering so loudly as those girls played in the state tournament for the first time in almost 30 years. And they told me it was in honor of Kaipo.
His older sister, Precious, lost him in the midst of regional tournaments.
We played some hard games. We weren't mentally ready, but we went into our games and we were all playing for Kai, and then we made it. We literally beat our first and second seeds. We couldn't beat them for years. This is our first year. We got first place at regionals.
She and her brother shared a love for the game.
He'd always make fun of me, if I missed a shot, if I airball or something. So in the game, I'd just be like, oh shoot, Kai would say something.
Would he be here?
He would. He was planning to come out here.
Though the Sandpoint girls lost out to state tournaments Friday, they were winners in every other way that matters. Playing for Kai.
Services for Kaipo are expected to be held in Hawaii later this month.
Well, today, a new jury heard opening statements in the retrial of Dustin Ruckman. Johnson Kuhn has been on top of this story since the beginning. He was in court this morning and joins us now with details.
That's right. Prosecutors say the case centers on a deadly crash on Unalaska's Mount Ballyhoo and whether the driver, 24-year-old Dustin Ruckman, made decisions that amounted to a crime. Ruckman is facing 2 counts of criminally negligent homicide in the deaths of Carly McDonald, 16, and Kiara Renteria Haste, 18. The state says Ruckman drove his Ford F-150 up to Unalaska Head in May 2019, then went over a cliff and plunged hundreds of feet. Ruckman has said he was ejected as the truck went down. The case has dragged on for nearly 7 years. A jury heard it last year, but the judge declared a mistrial after 5 days of deliberations without a verdict. In his opening, Deputy Attorney General John Skidmore laid out a timeline he says jurors will hear from witnesses, including how the teens headed up the mountain that afternoon. The defense did not dispute the tragedy, but told jurors the state still has to prove criminal negligence, not just that a crash happened.
This is going to be a case about the recklessness of youth.
Even if there is a crash of a vehicle and there is a death as a result of that crash, that alone does not make the person criminally responsible.
And testimony is expected to continue for the next 2 to 3 weeks. Ruckman has pleaded not guilty.
Well, it is Friday, and while many are enjoying the extended stretch of dry weather, some Alaskans will see a return to snow this weekend.
And we've got Chief Meteorologist Melissa Fry tracking the storm. So, Melissa, where is this all headed?
Yeah, it's really southeast. It is going to see the brunt of the storm. Chances for a little light snow pushing into south central, but most of that is going to be further south. Right now, the storm It's actually in Hawaii. Same storm that is bringing historic flooding and extreme wind to the Hawaiian Islands. A lot of that moisture pushing to the north. That's going to get wrapped up here in a disturbance moving into southeast with heavy snow likely Sunday into Monday. And then even ahead of that, we'll see chances for a little light snow across south central as we head from Saturday into early Sunday. Right now, you wouldn't know it's out there. We are still seeing mostly sunny skies. 15 in Anchorage, 17 in Palmer, still below 0 in Fairbanks, and at just 20 degrees tonight in Juneau. Temperatures are just a little bit warmer, and they're not going to drop as low overnight tonight. You can see a lot of sunshine still in place here across the state. Overnight, we'll still hold on to those clear skies for south central and the interior. Temperatures will drop into those lower single digits, but not below 0 for Anchorage overnight. Back into those mid-teens tomorrow. And as you head into the interior, you're looking at a high of about 3 in Fairbanks with chances for that light snow. And again, it's coming for Juneau on Sunday. I'll have more details on that extended forecast next.
Thank you, Melissa. A federal judge dismissed a timber industry's Tongass National Forest lawsuit seeking to force more old-growth logging in Alaska. The Alaska Forest Association, Viking Lumber, and Alcan Timber argue that the industry needs more access to old-growth timber to survive. But the court rejected that claim, ruling the Forest Service has broad discretion over how much timber to offer, saying federal law does not require it to meet market demand for old growth. So in a statement, Centers for Biological Diversity Alaska attorney Marley Gosk said in part, "I am relieved the court squarely rejected the logging industry's rash attempt to force large-scale logging. We need to leave the Tongass standing for the sake of wildlife, climate, and local communities." Alaska's news source has contacted representatives for the timber industry who sued, but so far we have not had a response. The case was dismissed with prejudice, meaning that the plaintiffs cannot refile these claims. They could, however, appeal to the Ninth Circuit.
Alrighty, now a Fairbanks pilot with decades of experience on his resume is moving on to a new chapter.
Now, while touching down on the runway for his final Part 121 flight Thursday afternoon, Robert Everts was honored at Fairbanks International Airport with the variation of the water salute. He's now aged out of carrying cargo operations above a certain amount at the age of 65.
I would say a version because it's turning to ice. Everts has been flying with and involved with planes since he was 8. For his final flight, he had a nod to history, picking a 1945 C-56D for his special trip.
Before we head to a break, a reminder that we have a new episode of Alaska's Political Pipeline podcast. In this edition, political reporter Will Courtney talks about ongoing discussions about the LNG pipeline and education funding. We upload new episodes every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Now to the Iditarod, where a large portion of teams are around halfway done with the race. This is drone video from Iditar Insider and showing its competitors when they approach Skolina. This is the landscape that can build legends. Absolutely beautiful.
Oh my gosh, it's so stunning.
So
I love the music as well. Earlier this morning, Jesse Holmes earned another award after he became the first musher to reach the Yukon River.
Anybody like to try some of this? It's incredible.
It looks good. Holmes pulled into Ruby Checkpoint around 4:55 this morning. He was presented with a gourmet 5-course meal that included smoked salmon crostini and white bean and bacon soup. Some good eats to keep that strength up for that journey.
All right, good stuff. And so far on the Iditarod Trail, another musher, Jody Potts-Joseph, has already survived bison encounters and frigid Alaskan temperatures.
And along the way, she has shared a story at every checkpoint she's been to. We go to Tyler Lane in McGrath.
As Iditarod 54 draws on, our time in McGrath is coming to a close. But we couldn't leave here without speaking with one musher, someone who told me at the ceremonial start that dog sledding is more than just a sport.
Do the wave, do the wave.
Even from far away, you'll know she's coming.
Nice, beautiful day.
Her team flying to checkpoints with a blissful jingle.
Welcome to McGrath.
Yeah, what a welcome. I'm so impressed.
Yes.
Over 300 miles into the Iditarod Trail, the dogs that make up Jody Potts-Joseph's race roster come and go with some flair, wearing history on their backs.
Everyone just went to work and cranked out some beautiful beaded blankets that are what our people used to put on their dogs as they'd come and go from villages.
Potts-Joseph, the first Gwich'in woman to ever run the Iditarod, now sharing a piece of her culture at every stop along the trail. Her lead dogs clad in traditional blankets, handcrafted from those closest to her, like her mom and many more.
Man, I just put this call out on Facebook like in December, and like within 24 hours I had like 30 women that were wanting to make one, and they just love the idea. I don't want to try to say all their names because I don't want to forget one because I'm also sleep deprived.
16 made in total, one for every member of her dog team. And within every fabric, a show of support.
I'm just so incredibly moved and touched by all the work that these women put into it. You know, they also said they put a lot of prayers with every stitch and that I have a safe journey.
As well as lessons she's proud to keep passing down.
And I think for me, that's what it's all about, you know, is like just making sure that our tradition of dog mushing like carries on to the future. I don't want it to die with me. An elder told me once to take care of these dogs like their own family members. And so there's a lot of important lessons and teachings around, you know, caring for a team. You know, me being out here, maybe there's a kid in a village that sees that. All right, straight. Thank you.
Potts Joseph now back on course, along with the rest of the Iditarod race pool. Stay tuned for more updates from Iditarod 54. Tyler Lane, Alaska's news source.
Thanks for listening. Click subscribe so you can get the latest podcast from Alaska's news source automatically. And stay up to date with breaking news and in-depth reporting available for free 24/7 with the Alaska's news source app.